Welcome, one and all. Um, my name is Mac. I am the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Dungeon Alchemist is an AI-powered map-making utility. It's available on Steam, and it allows you to make maps for your tabletop campaigns in a snap, giving you incredible control and versatility to create all sorts of fantasy-based environments and some... Oh, man, that's good to hear. I'm glad you're doing better. I didn't want to bring it up because I know it's your kind of your private business, so. Oh, really, say Sue? Man, that stinks. So really quickly, I just want to welcome everyone back. Today's stream is called The Damn Stream. The Damn Stream is a weekly showcase of community maps that are available on the Steam Workshop or on our Discord or on Facebook, etc. And also, we kind of teach you tips and tricks to accomplish these types of things in your own builds. So if you're looking at it, you're like, what? How do they do this? We go over that. Who's Matt, real TH? Hello, everyone. Mac here. Dungeon Alchemist Community Manager Extraordinaire. Let's look at bones. So, I actually jumped into this map because I wanted to see how they built this kind of skeleton thing they have going on here, and it looks like an old dead dragon, so that's cool. And we have the dragon skull, which is pretty easy to use, right? But it appears that they kind of just put a bunch of rib cages together to make their own rib cage, and then a bunch of random bones to kind of simulate wings or appendages and whatnot. It's a very interesting take. Jodrick, I hope you're feeling better, man. That sounds like you went through the ringer lately. Let's take a look at this crypt. Very cool. Very, very cool indeed. I'm thinking of loading up a big map if Gen Con's watching. Maybe we should show off what Dungeon Alchemists can really do. Maybe. Jeez. That sounds crazy, man. I would not even want to deal with that. Oh, I gotta check this one out. For no reason at all. This one looks really cool. In fact. Big, huge crystal pit. So what they did is they took a geode and oversized it, right? And made it all blue and then put crystals around it and some of these will-o-wisp effects, which are incredibly nice to add like a little bit of a, you know, just environmental like flair. Oh, this has a little bit of a magical sense to it. Gorvidal, how you doing? Welcome back. This crystal pit is fantastic. I fell into the pit. So, how was everyone's week? Did anyone get a session in this week? What are you working on for your campaigns? What's new for you in your life? What's been going on? Anything interesting? When's the next update? Soon, TM. Very, very soon, TM. We are getting ever closer to the next update. It's crazy. All I can say is just keep your eyes peeled because you'll probably see information relevant to that, you know, anytime now. I wish I knew exactly when it would be, but I can't, you know, I can't reveal that because I don't know 100%. But as we get closer and closer, the devs kind of basically lock down a date. They don't really like to... So here's the thing. I think part of there's this culture of promising a release date with a lot of games, right? Which for a long time that was like pretty much it was a sworn upon kind of like agreement that if you had a date, you would hit that date, and that would be when the game came out at a really solid launch. And then somewhere about 10 years ago that stopped happening. Games started coming out as betas, or and like things where they'd promise a date for a launch or an update and it wouldn't happen or get delayed. And so we would rather under promise and over deliver. And I know some people like hate not knowing the exact information, but wouldn't you rather know, you know, to get the information when we know exactly when it'll be out versus, hey, we think it'll be this date and then it gets delayed or it gets pushed back or something happens. Armistad, thank you for the follow. Much appreciated. Welcome to the damn fam. Oh, no, you can ask questions. Think of this stream as like an AMA format, Armistad. It is full AMA format. We showcase community maps, but if you need help, you're like, hey, how did you do this? Or how did they do that? I'll answer it. Or if you're like, I'm trying to figure out this in Dungeon Alchemist, I'm completely lost, I have no problem getting sidetracked to help a person out. These streams are essentially like kind of just like an open office hours where you can hang out with someone from the Dungeon Alchemist team and get to know the product and our community better. Yeah, Jack, that's the thing. That's what we like to do is say, more like this window than like, oh, this exact date. And honestly, it's become very standard, and I don't want to call out any companies in particular, but to promise a game and that it'll be XYZ and it comes out, months late and several dollars short of what was promised, and it's very frustrating, Shortcuts are not working. Huh, let me reset the bot then. One moment. Ah, I know why. It had to reauthorize my connection. So... Okay, the app should be reset. Try now. Sorry about that. Yeah, Link should be functional now. That is so weird. Hey, let's see here. Who do we got? Yo, Will, how you doing, buddy? Okay, Paquette says, last week, Dungeon Alchemist and myself made it through 126 by 114. Paquette, that's impressive. I have to ask, were you sharing your map on social? I feel like I saw a post about it on Twitter. Was that you? Is that possibly you? Or is that a different post? Maybe it was someone else I saw. But yeah, there we go. Discord link is now working. Totally forgot to post the live post. I had it set to be ready 5 minutes before and it's having all sorts of technical difficulties, so... So, I need to tell y'all what I've been kind of considering for the last, while. And, so I've been kind of living in this home in Vegas for, 5-6 years. I rent, and my rent just continually goes up. And it makes it very hard to, kind of save for a home when my rent just keeps getting boosted all the time, and things like... it'll be a medical emergency or little things happen, right? And life gets in the way. And so I've been kind of considering kind of compacting my life into a more nomadic lifestyle, like a tiny home, trailer home type thing. I actually grew up in a trailer home. I know exactly what it's like to live in a small, tight space. so I'm not unfamiliar with it. But I'm considering kind of like getting a truck and a tiny home, a trailer home, and taking my life nomadic because I work remotely for Dungeon Alchemist. So as long as I have a good internet connection, we can stream and do whatever. Oh, okay, that's probably where I read it then. Hey, yeah, please share it on Discord or on socials. Would love to see it. Armistad, so Dungeon Alchemist is primarily a map making utility, and it's a very helpful immersion tool. So Dungeon Alchemist allows you to make maps, but there's several ways you can do that. You can use the tools AI to generate maps in mere seconds. So let me show you what I mean by that. I'm going to open up a brand new map, and I would actually like you to help me make a map if that's okay. So, we're going to set a size of 50 by 50 is just the bare, like, whatever. You can set your size here. Now, at the top, when you make a map, it says print or digital. It's very important that you pick depending on what you're doing. Print is if you want to print on a piece of paper to play in person. Digital is if you want to have a grid that you can expand or contract to any size without restriction, and also play with, like, virtual tabletops. So Dungeon Alchemist is designed to make a map and export to be used in tandem with systems like Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Foundry, all of which support D&D 5e very well. And our maps integrate seamlessly into those applications with line of sight information, wall, lighting, windows, doors, etc. And then that feeds into the VTT, which gives it light of sight information, fog of war information for your players in the VTT, lighting information, etc. So the thing is it's like, I don't know. It can be used to play. Like, people in our community use it all the time to run entire games out of. So you could set it up, and let's say you play in person with a TV tabletop or a projector. A lot of people will run Dungeon Alchemist on there and play using Dungeon Alchemist as their the game software, because there's token support, there's grids, stuff like that in it, which I'll show you in a moment. So Armistad, are you still here? I would like to ask you to help me pick how to build this map. So pick any of these terrain types except for dark parchment. Dark parchment is like a blank background that you use if you just want to illustrate an interior without any way out of it. So like an inside of like an underground area or something like that. But you could pick any of these other biomes and we'll generate a map. Yeah, honestly, Joe Drek, I am hoping you get better, my man. That is so rough. Gosh, that's ridiculous. It seems like, lately people have been just not having luck with hospital visits too, because you and DM Eric also, right? That's crazy. I get it, Jack. Like, some of the RVs we're looking at, though, like, people who, like, it's like up to 8-foot ceilings in some of them, so they're pretty tall in some instances, so it's not that bad, but I get it. So, grasslands is what we're gonna pick. Now, there's a bunch of elevation types. Why don't you pick one of those? Hills? You got it. Now let's pick a vegetation type. So you can pick no vegetation, meadow, or steppe. And sorry to put you on the spot, but I'm showing you how easy it is to generate a map in Dungeon Alchemist. Just a few clicks. So we'll do meadow. You have water options, so you can do no water, which obviously is pretty obvious there. You can do a river, lake, lakeside island, lava lake, and lava flow. So you have liquid options, I should say. River. And then the only weather option we currently have is either no weather or snow, which adds a light sprinkling of snow on top of everything if you do that. You can always add snow later. You can change some options in the map. So I think we should leave this one blank just to see what it looks like and then add it after if you're interested. Now, the last one, and very important, is my UI off? Yeah, it is. So water level. Basically, room placement, you can set it at water level, plateau, or mountaintop. So we have AI map generation for environments, but also AI room generation. And this will tell the AI what level you want the buildings to be on primarily. Once you set this, you cannot revert it for the map. So water level would put them at the river level if you build any houses. So that makes sense, right? In this case, maybe we should do that. So we hit create, right? And this generates a map. And in just mere seconds, you have a 50 by 50 map with the terrain requirements you gave it. What I'm going to do is I'm noticing my UI should be at 100%. Everything looks a little wonky. So going to put it at 100%. So now we have a lovely grasslands meadow with a river. It only took a few seconds, and it's generated with AI, and you can even regenerate it if you don't like it. So let's say you don't like this. You can go into this terrain tab here. You can edit the terrain manually, but raise it, lower it, flatten it, whatever. You can change the water type. Maybe you want it to be a mucky river or a blood river or acid river. You can change all sorts of stuff, okay? Anyway, you have those control options. You can even carve the river out more or make it deeper, etc. Now, lastly, you can just altogether just shift the terrain by hitting change, and it'll just regenerate another random map. What was the question you were going to ask? So yeah, Dungeon Alchemist exports directly for Foundry as a still or animated map, your choice. I will warn you though, animated maps take a while to export because you're essentially rendering a top-down 3D environment in real time, and it takes a moment. So, like, if you have a computer that's a little bit older or maybe not as powerful, it might take a while to render a WebM video of a 60 by 60 map. Just kind of fair warning you. So the smaller the map or the less quality it is, the easier it is to export. So we've generated a bunch of environments. Now let's put a house on this. So as you can see, there's all these prefab generatable house type options. So let's go to village. One of my favorite in the village is a cabin. You can lay out just a simple square, or you can expand upon the floor plan, put little hallways and make it a bigger, kind of mansion style cabin with a lot going on. Maybe some closets. That makes sense. So it doesn't generate the environment inside until you have finished setting the shape and hit the checkbox. And once you do that, it will generate a room of the parameters and shape and size you gave it. So if you said you wanted a cabin, it'll fill it up with cabin-like stuff all throughout. And this is the building we got. Now I could click on this building and kind of keep regenerating it if I want as well. I can even change the theme if I choose. So let's say I don't want it to be a cabin anymore. Maybe I want it to be a farmstead. Or, maybe a big pub. Something like that. And go through and change it all around, and it will change the styling in most cases. So here we could, go to tavern, and now, change the whole thing to, big old tavern or a big kitchen. You have all these options of how you can approach it and what you can do. Individually, you can even go through and draw like certain portions of the you can get rid of portions of the room. You can just make certain parts of the room things. So let's say I just wanted the brewery to be back in this corner. It'll put the brewery items there. Let's put the Great Hall up here in the front. Anyway, you get the idea. It's pretty easy to whip something up in just a few seconds, a few clicks, and on top of that, you can go in and delicately place, meticulously place everything by hand if you wish. So you can use the AI to kind of make a foundation and then fill the rest by hands with our thousands and thousands of objects. Multi-level is possible, but not AI supported. So it's strictly all by hand. So let me give you some examples of multi-level that are available right now. So like this Colosseum, for instance, this is multi-level. You can clearly see it has multiple floors, but it was all done by hand. So it probably took them a lot of time to just go in and put everything in and stack it. So we have lots of objects, and many of them are called structural objects. And these objects, like these stone platforms, for instance, they snap together kind of like Lego. So you can just kind of pop one down and boom, boom, boom. And you can, turn off collisions with them and rotate them and merge them together to kind of make new shapes. So people will kind of start getting creative with these structural objects, and as you can see, make entire colosseums. That is one way to do multi-level building with, structural objects mixed with disabled collisions. When you have collisions off, there's this little arrow here on the side of many objects that you can raise them up and down to pretty much the max build height. So in this case, that's exactly what this person has done. They've raised up many different objects up to different levels, flooring, etc. So great example of multi-level building, but not AI supported. Now, let's show you another multi-level build. One of my favorite maps. So if you're gonna want to, it depends on how big the map is, but if you're bigger than like that big map you were talking about, you definitely want to export it as WebM because MP4 has upper limits. And to be honest with you, I have never heard of anyone doing an animated map that large. If it doesn't work in Foundry, it's definitely a limitation of Foundry because as long as you have the time and the processing power to export the map, you can definitely do it. I've seen people take days to export a map, but you can do it. So as long as you have the WebM file. But what I would recommend doing, Paquette, is when you're exporting a file that large, make sure you lower your DPI. Always, honestly, I stick to 72 DPI with Foundry all the time. I've found consistently that using the high quality or very high quality detriments your play because the files are exponentially larger. So a high quality map of 50 by 50 or 60 by 60 is like 5 times larger than the lower quality. So you're actually, if you're in a big map, if you do low quality, you're more likely for the map to work, and you're also more likely for your players to actually be able to load it because the map is going to be huge. Nice, Dynamite Vortex. Thank you so much for entering. Did you put your entry information in the Damn Challenge channel on Discord? And also, welcome. I was under the understanding that the map sizes aren't limited with WebM. They're limited with MP4, but WebM can keep scaling up exponentially. That's part of the reason that Carl chose it. And remember, Paquette, the session's only going to go as fast as the slowest computer in your session. Loading it for you is way easier to load the scene as the DM than it is for the person on the other end loading it from their laptop or whatever. You know what I mean? It's always much laggier for the player side. So just remember to try and keep your maps trim as much as possible. So here we have a great example of multi-level building, but yet again by hand, a combination of terrain sculpting and object placement to get you layering or multiple levels. Here we have pits. Yeah, it's going to be huge for sure, Gore Vidal. Are you doing the low quality WebM or the high quality WebM? But as you can see throughout this structure, there's lots of different levels or heights. You know, it's possible to do multi-level building, but it requires you to get a little tricky and have some fun with it. Dang, Gore. The big boy. So, Dynamite Vortex, I would love to look at your map right now on the stream, but I make a habit of not showing or like looking at the Dam Challenge maps live on stream until Dam Challenge day. I look at them privately to pick a winner beforehand, but I don't like to show them on the stream because I feel like it gives bias. And because, yeah, if I don't show everyone's map, then not everyone gets a chance to have their map shared that way. So basically what I like to do is on Dam Challenge Day, which is next Saturday, I go through, you know, I show the winner's map first, and then I go through as many of the entries as I can. I usually, you know, between 5 and 10 that day to showcase all of them because there's usually so many awesome ones. It's like, it's hard not to share them. But yeah, this map here, I made this to kind of celebrate the launch of our last update, Everything is Lava, and to showcase how the caves systems worked and all the mine tracks and stuff. And I think it took me about 20 hours to make. Oh man, I gotta sneeze. Bless me. So, Gore, I'm hoping that we'll get, you know, a more streamlined export system for Fantasy Grounds. I'll be honest with you, I feel like they kind of blindsided us with that. They didn't really communicate with us, and they didn't really communicate it with the community in general that they were going to be offering that until it was just out, you know? The next update is called the Treasury, and the one after that is called Magic. Hey, thank you. Yeah, you have direct access to the Steam Workshop within Dungeon Alchemist, so you can just click Steam Workshop and browse. There's over 5,000 community shared maps, all 100% free. So you can just search. Let's say you're running a Strahd campaign. You could search and see if anybody's made any Strahd maps. So here's Kresk, here's Death House, here's Blue Water Inn, the Yesterhill. Tons of like key locations from those. So you can either just download that map and use it if you don't want to waste time making it, or you can look at it for inspiration and make your own. But as you can see here, there is a lot of, 3 pages just for Strahd. Let's try Tavern. Oops, why is it not typing? I really like to search and see, but as you can see here, it just goes and 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 goes. So there's just one full page. We have 6 pages just of taverns. So if you ever need some variety in taverns in your world, here you go. Here we have a yawning portal. So, with that in mind, you can search by most popular, and you could see like the ones that are most popular this month, most popular all time. I personally love to go in and go by most recent and just see new maps that have been added. So, like, obviously, this one is part of the crime entry. I can't look at that one. Serene's Landing, too. So I cannot look at those. But, yeah. As you can see, there's, like, lots of neat maps in here. Cool little hedge maze. Dang, that one's interesting. I know that one and that one are damn challenge entries, too. Man, there's so many damn challenge entries I gotta just ignore. But it's really fun to just kind of, like, go through this and just check out some of the latest maps. Is it on the workshop? If it's on the workshop, we'll take a look at it for sure. I'll try and load it. So I've got a beast of a computer thanks to an anonymous donor who donated a 4000 series graphics card, a new, some, basically help me update my computer from a single PC setup to a dual PC. So I now have a stream PC and the Dungeon Alchemist PC, so we can load big, huge maps on the stream. Look at this thing. This is beautiful. Wow, Timmy Thomas just knocks it out of the park. I love his work so much. Just so much little detail. The wall. The harbor. We've got the Royal Harbor here, right? Or maybe the military harbor. That is a great little detail. So, okay. Above VTT does work with Dungeon Alchemist, and I'm actually in communication with their staff. I know their staff; they're great guys, and one of their mods as well. And they added UVTT support, like in June, which Dungeon Alchemist has direct support for UVTT, which means you can export a map. UVTT is a universal VTT file format made by I think it was Arkenforge or Dynamic or what is it? Dungeon Draft, one of those two. But they've been trying to get everyone on board with a universal format instead of like, oh, we use JSON and we have our private script and we use a text file mixed with a JPEG and we do support this video codec. And they're trying to get a universalized format. And what UVTT is it's a picture, the flat, the top-down image with all of the line of sight, windows, walls, lighting, all that information baked into the image file instead of a separate text file. And that is really cool. However, it doesn't support animated maps at this time. So Above VTT does support our regular animated maps, but if you do that, it doesn't support anything like line of sight, walls, like the lighting, anything like that. If you have, I can't recall if Above does that, if you can go in and add that stuff manually yet. I've only played with it a little bit in testing. The other thing is, I have in fact tested our animated maps on Above. They do work. That map we were just in, that mine, I've uploaded that to my Google Drive and put it in an Above server through a D&D Beyond campaign I set up, and it worked just fine. But I will tell you this, Foundry, being a one-time purchase, it is an incredibly amazing tool. You get the lifetime license, and because there's such a vibrant and huge community supporting it through mods, it is crazy how much you can do with it. You can automate so many aspects of your game, and I will tell you, they do work with Dungeon Alchemist maps, right out of the bat without any workarounds or anything like that. Because we have Foundry export directly in here. But I am working with Above to try and get Above VTT listed as an export option, but it takes a lot of work because we got to test every single wall tile, every single window, every single door, every single light, it takes time. So it's fun. Anyway, back to this lovely detailed map. I like what we've got here. This just big, village. So vibrant. I like how they L-shape some sheds to give it like a different home shape or feel. We got a couple gatehouses here. And then, yeah, a little defensive post here where they probably, if anyone comes in that isn't welcome, they can start pelting them with the cannons. Keep the community safe. You would just you can export without. I mean, there's two export options. Okay, so when you export for say like above VTT, we don't have a direct export, so you would do like image only, right? And that would just be the still map with no animations. Or you could do a video export, which would be, like a WebM here. I would probably do a low quality WebM. And then when you do that, that will give you the... Ooh, let's make that small borders. Kind of tighten that up. So that would give you the file that you would then upload to either YouTube or, whatever cloud server you use. Above, you have to host the video file yourself. So you would host it on like YouTube and make the video private, and then put the link into your above VTT scene. And that should allow you to do an animated map, and it just plays off of the video looping. I also did it from my Google Drive, and it worked fine. But yeah, you could basically just do a still export and just have a non-animated map. Once the map is set up to start animating, it's a loop. It just loops every 30 seconds. I don't think there's a way to play or pause it within above VTT that I'm aware of. It's like once you start the scene and people load into it, it just does that. Oh, Dynamite Vortex, that's cool. What maps have you made so far for the Star Wars campaign? And this place is well guarded. They've got it all figured out, this little community. So it seems like it's like an old busted down or broken down castle from a bygone era that people have just kind of built into because it's still like along a river or along a water source. It's a good hub. You know what I mean? Ooh, a secret way. Little cave in the back there. Okay, so if you want to share a map so we could take a look at it, you're going to want to put it on the Steam Workshop. So you would go into Dungeon Alchemist, you click Steam Workshop, and then you click Publish Map. And in this case, it's your map you have open, right? And then click the screenshot thing, take a fun little screenshot of it. Once you get a screenshot, give it a title, set it to public, and then give it a short description and hit publish. That's all it takes to share your maps on Steam Workshop. I will be honest, though, the better your description is, the more descriptive you are, the more keywords that it's likely people can find your map with a search. So just keep that in mind when you're, putting it in there. If you just put a castle, if someone searches castle, they'll find it. But if you just have nothing in the description, it'll be hard to find. You know what I mean? Once it's published, we should be able to look at it in about 5 to 10 minutes. It was a big map. It was a big boy. I like throwing the grid on to just kind of get some perspective sometimes. I love this. This is really beautiful. Ooh. They didn't even use the abstracts. They just made a small puddle of blood below. It's clever. Clever, clever. Oh man, so many cannons. I would not want to mess with this city. I mean, yeah, you can share it on Discord, but if your map's too large, it might not be able to be shared. You would share it in the DA Community Creations channel. So you can try sharing it there, but given your map size, who knows if it'll be shareable on Discord. But yeah, give it a chance. Give it a try. Alrighty, let's take a look here. Right? Lots of things to do. Interactables, lots of vendors, you know. This is what I like about it is there's literally lots of hooks. You could use this very easily, you know, in a lot of different situations. Anyway. Uh-oh, I hear the puppy running around. Gonna take a minute to open because it's probably so large, so give me a minute. So, does anyone have any fun plans for the weekend? Are you gonna be doing anything interesting? Dang, it's huge. There's a big boy map. Mushroom farms. Thatch houses. This is neat. How long did you work on this? I like the cave walls too, because that blocks out natural light. If you really wanted none of this natural light in here and none of the shadows, you could set this here. Watch. So if you do raised cave area like this, all the way around the edge, it'll block out the natural light from the outside. Anyway, just kind of a tip. Dragonlance, nice. This is cool. What's this? Is this some kind of arena or something? I'm just guessing. Oh man, that looks creepy. It's like a crypt or maybe a ziggurat. Ah, park? Nice. Fortress of Magi. Cool. Whoa. That looks crazy. Is this like a portal or something? Just throwing this out there, the Moon Gate. Amazing portal, too. That is... Oh, that's the top of a tombstone. I like that. Or is it just like a monolith here? Like a structure. I really like that you use the dog houses. There's just like little village houses. Sport. Oh, bye. That's the bone pit. Very cool. Very cool. How long you been working on this? Whoa, I never realized you could see up through these. Nice. Not bad. It was big. This is like huge city. Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for sharing. Ah. Man, like a mega structure down here. See, that's the best part about coming into the stream, too, is if you have a computer that may not be able to run the best maps, sometimes we can run through them for you. Take a look. So you get an extra look-see at it, you know? Let's go browse. That was huge, by the way. That's insane large. Very good job on that. Let's check out this fort / mine shaft. Yeah, no, thank you for sharing. It felt like a liminal space, like a back room, if I'm not lying. Have you guys seen those before? Like the videos of them? They're like just like CG and stuff, and they're just mostly just trolls or just for fun, you know? But oh man, they're crazy. You're like it's essentially just like a creepy space that seems like it was made by the government as like a shelter or like a but some people explain them as a back room being like a glitch in the Matrix, essentially, where there's like a whole area that people can't access and it's built there but for no reason. So like there was this, I don't know, there's funny videos of like someone finding like a staircase and it looks like it's into like an underground bunker, and the staircase just goes forever and ever and ever and then winds and winds. There's no like offshoots, it just goes down and down and down. And then when they get into the bottom, it opens up into like an abandoned underground mall. Yeah, it would be. A liminal space might be interesting, but at the same time, I want to also make sure that the entries have maps that will benefit everyone for their campaigns. Like, one thing we found is people do not like to enter as much when their campaigns, when the map can't be used in their campaign. And I totally sympathize with that because you're going to spend a ton of time making a map to enter, you want to be able to use it too. You know what I mean? Aw. My wife made that. That's her, oh my gosh, that's more of her graffiti. Too funny. Yeah, this here, that there. My wife made all these, graffitis for... That's so funny. Shared them on... Yeah, true. It could be, or like maybe you jumped in, you know, you followed the loot goblin through a portal. You know, honestly, Cabbage was the most surprising one of all time because I didn't think we'd get any entries, and we had a crazy amount of entries. So, I mean, I could be wrong with a liminal space. It could work. I guess I'm just mostly hopeful that you know, like, we get maps that everyone can use and enjoy to a degree, are very universal. Because when you find a map like that on the workshop, it's very helpful. Oh, Sack, of course you pipe up to say something about being right for the cabbage map. You cabbage map kids. We all know that Sack is a simp for... Ooh, those hieroglyphs are nice, too. Very nice touch. It's so rare you're right about things. You just want to rub it in everyone's face, right? Looks like there's a cave entrance here through the woods. Like a back entrance. Main entrance. This feeds into, like, a mine here. And then you have the whole mine cart system. Let's follow that. And it's just kind of like from A to B. And it looks like there's some kind of abandoned castle in here and they're digging it out. Maybe it like sank in during the Sundering or something. I like this little collapsed pit here. This is really cool. Ooh, let's go take a look in the prayer room or the worship room, whatever this is. Here, I wonder if you make yourself small, does it instantly make the room seem more liminal? It's creepy how all the candles are on the exact same animation, though. I'm not gonna lie. Oh my goodness. Hello. Look what we got. Mr. Seymour, come and say hi. Seymour Butts. Got his bath. Just got his bath. He's a good, cute boy. He's a cute boy. He's missed everyone here, too. Okay, let me pull the mic in a little bit so it's easier to hear me while I'm leaning back like this. Puppy power! Who's this handsome boy? Oh, is it raining that bad, huh? Dang, that's crazy. Well, she did dry him off, too. She gives them a bath and then dries him off, you know? And then he comes and sits on me and warms up for a bit. But he's just so chill. I don't even know if you can tell. Like, he is being extra chill right now. You want to say hi? You want to say hi? Who's a good boy? Who's dad's good boy? Yeah, you. Oh my gosh, that's adorable, Lucian. I need to do that. Oh, oh my gosh, Mom, you're trying to get me killed? Ugh. You want to step pepperoni? What are you going to say? Speak? Will you speak for me? Can I get a roo? He won't do it when he's on my lap. Roo roo! Speak. Speak. Come on, we're gonna set you down so you'll roo at least once. Speak. Huh? What was that? Say hi. Roo roo! What? Okay, there you go, good boy.
Sorry. Thought it would make him more lively.
Oh my gosh, Lucian, that would be amazing. That's adorable. I gotta see a picture of that actually. Next time I ask for everyone's familiars, I need to see a picture of that, Lucian. You got it? At least once a month across all our socials, I ask everyone to share a picture of their familiars with me. I.e. your pets. Familiar. Yada-da-da-da-da! I like how it just seems relative because I'm so small, it's like super fast. I absolutely love my dog, love my cat. Like they're just as they're part of our family. Like I'm a big animal person. I love my animals so much. They are cute boys. I've got a Maine Coon kitty, which some of you have seen. His name is Montrazar. Or Monty for short. And then I've got, our little doxy poo that you just saw, Seymour. Goodness. Have any of you played Tomb of Annihilation before? So my son has been getting way into D&D. Is like it's my dream come true because I've been trying for a couple years to get him into it, and now he's getting into it, like really, really getting into it. But he wants a challenge. He wants to play a campaign setting that is grittier and like just harder because most of the settings we've been put in so far, if any of my DMs are listening, that's not an excuse to make it harder for the whole group just because he wants it more difficult. Okay. But I want to accommodate to him because, I feel like he wants this challenging campaign setting, and I feel like Tomb of Annihilation would be a good thing for him to sink his teeth into. And so I bought the book. I've been reading through it, kind of just understanding the whole setting and everything behind it, and it's interesting to me. I like it. It's cool. Okay. Do it. Do it, Lucian. And see, the thing is I want it to be a difficult campaign that kind of pushes him, mentally, like so he thinks on his feet. And he has been like building up character sheets for like theory crafting character sheets for like the last 2 weeks while I've been getting familiar with the module, with the campaign setting. So I read the book once. I want to read it one more time to really, really dive in. And then I'm going to start making maps. And then after I've made the maps, then I'm going to start making the encounters. And then, yeah. But, oh, that's the thing is he wants to try a meat grinder where it's more difficult, where you're more likely to die, And so that's what that's kind of the hope, is that it'll be a little bit more challenging for him. I am considering, because I can make pretty big maps on my computer. I'm considering building the entirety of Port Nyanzaru in Dungeon Alchemist as one single map. So, Zax, I will say that at the moment there's not really an easy way, because we found just recently that the Hero Forge animal tokens, even when purchased as 3D digital, do not import into Dungeon Alchemist correctly, and we don't know if it's a bug or a licensing thing, so we're trying to figure that out. It was pointed out to us the other day by a member in our community who bought like a bear and some other animals, and they won't import. And so we're trying to figure that out. I would say if you need it right now, the best way would just to be put like an abstract, circle and put a raptor token on it. If you want it to have some depth or something to it, do like a vertical pane like this and put an image on it, because if you put a raptor, it'll be a two-sided kind of flat image for now. In the foreseeable future, very foreseeable, very like, let's just say soon TM, we will be having our next update titled The Treasury. And when that update launches, we have a new quality of life feature packed in with it that is 3D asset import, which means you can import 3D tokens from really any source. So if you have, basically at this point, we know that FBX, GLTF, and STL files will be compatible with Dungeon Alchemist, and you'll be able to upload them to the workshop to share them. So if you have a 3D sculpt, 3D model, you already have a leg up. You could start making models yourself, or if you already have a ton made, you can, get ready to upload them. So Zax, right now, the two ways, probably the easiest way would be using our abstracts, or just putting a token using your like VTT if you use one of those. So I really think Nyanzaru is beautiful, and I would like the island. It's Chult, right? Is that how it's pronounced? I would like the island to seem like a place they want to go back to. It's not like, oh, this is a hellscape destination. We're here, we finished our mission, and we're gone. I've also noticed that it's incredibly close to the island of Lantan, which is, to me, very cool. Lantan is like the home of the artificers, however you pronounce it, but it's essentially Atlantis. And during the second Sundering, there was 3 islands. They sank into the ocean. Everyone thought everyone died there, but one of them actually teleported to another realm where the gnomes and the residents of Lantan, for some reason, were able to advance an incredible amount of technology and magic combination in a short amount of time that's essentially dwarfed everything else in the region when they came back during the next Sundering or whatever. So it's crazy to me, and I enjoy the lore behind it. And I also noticed Nyanzaru has a Temple of Gond, which is an artificer thing. Well, see, the thing is, that's what I was considering, is extending the campaign time just the littlest bit, maybe like 30, 40 days, so Nyanzaru stays a little bit more relevant. And that would give them a month prep time or side quest time in the beginning, instead of just rushing right into it. Does that make sense? But I don't know if that would be too slow. That's the thing. So what I was considering doing is building the entire Port Nyanzaru as a whole map, one big map, and then I'm going to do, shrink down sections into quadrants or whatever, or, tile 1 through 6, and then I'd break it down into smaller tiles, so anyone who, can't load a monster map could still take advantage of it. Let's find us another map to look at. Go to recent. I mean, as long as you feel like it doesn't make the game slag when you extend the time, because I do like the thought of people being rushed. Like there is a time limit, you know. Let's take a look at this hedge maze. I like a good hedge maze. Who doesn't like a good hedge maze? Alrighty. Not bad. And I do like that they took the time to double wide it. Okay. The biggest problem I found with most hedge mazes is they're only rigged for 5x5 combat. And that can get very, very tedious in a very big maze when you can only go single file. So with this, it gives you a bit more versatility to move around, and that is actually quite impressive. I like that. I could get down with that. Okay, so this is what I would like to do. I've taken just a quick glance. There's no way I could have memorized this whole thing in just a few seconds. So I'm going to pop a token in here, and we're going to run around in this maze and take a look at it. You might be loading at a lower resolution if you look at your Twitch settings, if you're at like auto or because we're out broadcasting at 1080 60 right now, so you should be getting right from the source at that unless your internet dips or something. But my end is fine on my end, so it definitely isn't us dipping. Twitch could be having issues too, but you got to remember, like, I'm piping about 6,000 kilobits per second of data at HD 1080 60 to them, and then they stream it to you. So sometimes things like, you know, between the amount of time it takes for me to stream to them and them to you, things can get gunked up. But if your internet dips or if you're on mobile, you might be at a lower resolution at the moment. In-game time is 2 days in the tomb and 1 year real time. Holy cow. That's insane. That is, wow. 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 Holy cow. So I was thinking of letting my son start, like the group we're putting together start at L5. So they're not quite, you know, squishy. And then it'll give them some time to kind of level up just the littlest bit before they enter the tombs. So that's the rule you've set up, huh? TPK means it's over, but anything else, it's like other survive. Because technically, the lore of the book explains it as you just kind of. There's lots of people in the tombs trying to figure out how to fix it. Good, bad, you know, people who are just trying to save their loved ones, you know, people who are serving their country and their king or their religion. And you could just bump into all sorts of people in there at random, you know? That's what I like about it. I do enjoy the fact that it's set up for you to just kind of like cycle through a bunch of characters. So this is creepy. There's no doll in it, which makes me happy, but it is quite creepy. I know if Sack put it there, there'd be a doll looking at me, and it would not be fun. This is cool. I like the moon, too, being out with it. A night maze is fun. Oh, no. The thing is he builds character sheets for theory crafting. It's not that he's attached to the character. He just likes to do like min-maxing and power builds and like making things to test them. So this is a perfect playground for him. You know what I mean? But I understand for sure. You definitely don't want to play with characters you're going to be attached to. I mean, is it possible for someone to survive in TOA? It should be to a degree. You know, like, I mean, running is always an option too, right? And then crying is a free action, I like to say. Right? Yeah, and it adds some... It's like, oh, I can see something over there. Maybe I'll head there. So one original character survived the whole time. What class are they? I just got to know. And what race? My son was like, so I figured out this sweet build the other day, and I'm going to make it for the campaign. I'm like, okay, tell me about it. And he's like, so I'm going to take this many levels in Warlock and this many levels as a Sorcerer. And I'm like, so you're making a coffee lock? He's like, wait, you know what a coffee lock is? I'm like, everybody knows what a coffee lock is. And I'm like, go for it. Make a coffee lock. We'll see how long you survive. A sneaky boy bard, that's probably why he survived so long. Oh, well, it was inevitable. We're going to just stay here and watch this until its eyes open. Oh my gosh, the timing. Usually we have to wait like 5-10 minutes for it to open. Perfect timing. I got here right as it did it. Yeah, I mean, it's a strategy, but it's probably factored into a lot of other people dying too, right? It's almost like if we had one other player helping us, things could be different. But yeah, I'm excited to facilitate that setting for my son and see if he likes it. See, I wouldn't do those kind of things. Like, I don't like critical, like, failures and, like, that kind of critical damages. I'm not going to take someone's arm away or an eye. Like, that's... Like, who wants to play that game? A lingering injury? Interesting. See, I don't know if I'd do that or not. But I haven't fully grasped the rules for it yet, so maybe I need to read through it again. Because I skimmed through it the first time, and now I'm, like, really deep diving into it the second read. Used to be a ranger, then they took a raptor to the eye. Easy, breezy, beautiful, clever girl. Here's the thing. So, like, okay, like, technically you really only need one eye to aim a bow. And if you're, like, eye dominant, so did you lose your dominant eye, or did you just lose, like, did you lose an eye? It didn't matter. I guess, yeah, that's true. I don't know. I still think someone with enough training could surpass it. Especially, like, someone who's been an archer their entire life. There's got to be one-eyed archers out there. I mean, I'm doing pretty good running this maze with one eye. Granted, I'm not shooting targets, but... Really? Dang. That's nuts. I guess that third point of reference really helps with depth, huh? All right. That is a neat maze, and I kind of got lost in the corner over here and couldn't figure out how to get out of it, but it's cool. Very fun. That is interesting. I think I'm going to take a 5-minute break to get some water and use the restroom, and then when I get back, we'll open up a fresh map. Yeah, that's discriminatory against Cyclopses. Hello. I'm sure they can use crossbows and bows. Range spells. Oh, you. Alrighty. I will be right bacon. Sorry for the delay. I am back with a vengeance. I'm just a bill, yeah, I'm only a bill. I'm sitting here on Capitol Hill. Excuse me. Let's go like 4 pages deep. Take a look what we got here. Hey Dag, the office hours thing, actually a few people popped in after you left. Asmodeus did as well, so it wasn't too bad. I was a little worried that no one would check it out, but a few people try, you know, in the 2 hours I was there, a couple people dropped by. So thanks for keeping me company. No worries, man. No worries. Let's take a look at this swamp hag's hut that Sack made. Don't touch the sides. Don't forget the funny bone. It is creepy in here. I really like the little slash over here hanging out. Ominous. A good word to use. Ominous. Oh. Got a little bit of everything on the wall here, don't you, Sack? And the brew. You don't have any dead man's toes in here. Which is unfortunate. Technically, I guess. You got a mushroom, so close enough. Hey, if you're looking for an interesting take on how to do build videos, I think you should check out these people here. They make Commander Aconite and Snow Carmi. They make some of the most lovely like walkthrough videos showing how to make things. Like, obviously you know how to make stuff, Sack, but their videos are very like thorough and do good demonstrations, and it's like it's a great way to kind of showcase how to do things. The combo of the narration mixed with his building techniques is great. It's awesome. Well, I was saying maybe you and your missus could do something similar where you kind of just like add a little narrative to it, you know? But speeding it up does help tremendously, for sure. Not everyone likes watching builds. Yeah, it is a magic orb there, my friend. It is the utility magic, one of these. This is a great way to just kind of make something seem interesting, and it also is a good effect, like just like fireflies or something. Be used in a lot of different ways. I wouldn't mind hearing you waffle on. Is that how you guys feel about me? No one wants to hear Mac rattle on. Excuse me. Okay, the question is, where is the signature? I'm gonna just look around for it for a minute before I give up. I mean, if you're teaching people things, I don't see it as like not having purpose, but little baby under the boat with a bottle. Goes, why not? Because I need nightmares. Traxian, yeah. Dag actually slowly loses his mind because I don't use Dungeon Alchemist the same way he does. And so he'll be like, no, click this! Ah! So I'm sure everyone's like watching, they're like, want to quickly check. Have you ever spent a ton of time on like your tablet and then you get on your computer and you try to do like a touch screen, dragons like zoom type thing? Or on your laptop, you're like, why isn't this? Oh, wait, that doesn't have a touch screen. Hey, see you, Joe Direct. Get some rest, man. Take it easy, please. Thank you for being here, brother. Max orders, though. You gotta take it easy. I really like this build. A lot of neat little details to it. Good job, Sack. Thank you so much for sharing, brother. I really do love your work. Always a pleasure finding the new maps of yours on the workshop. I know you posted this like a week or two ago, but still, it's fun to share it on the stream. Do you like that, Dag? You know what? I'm gonna just browse the maps with a token from now on. But from the water. Look at this beautiful map. Oh, I'm not in water. Let's get back in the water. No one's complaining yet. Hey, you can't speak for everyone, Dag. Come on. Come on. Come on. They're just happy. I mean, I think everyone's happy you're irritated. Just imagine my phone cannot download apps because I was born when the dinosaurs still roamed the land. That's what you need to say to them, Sack, and they'll get it. Be like, there is no app store for me. I'm sorry. Maybe you need a solution that's not app store based. See, the thing is, I have TVs, but I don't have television. Like, I don't pay for cable or satellite, and I only subscribe to, at most, like, one streaming service at a time. I'll usually just, like, sub to a stream service for, like, a month. We'll binge watch anything we want on it, and then I'll cancel it and move on. We have a media library now, which is amazing. I've just put all of our, like, DVDs and Blu-rays and all that stuff onto a media server where all of our devices, our phones, our Xboxes, smart TVs, they can all connect to it. So, like, if we want to watch a movie or look at family photos or read a PDF or whatever, it's all there. We can just check it out. As long as it's in our library. I think it doesn't bother you, but the world around you is definitely rolling into smartphones more regularly. It's crazy to me to think about, like, not living with a smartphone. Part of me wants to roll back to, like, a candy bar phone. But at the same time, like, I use my smartphone so much for work every day. Like, you guys and gals communicate with me. Any of you have communicated with me on a social network or on Discord. Many of you have communicated with me through my mobile. Because I am, I'm out and about or I'm working, around my house because I very much like remote work. Sometimes I'm at my computer working, but not all times. I'm not sure why that happened, Sack, and I'm sorry, brother. Sounds like you went through the ringer, my man. Homelessness is a serious issue, and it's so awful for anyone that's dealt with it. I had a small stint of homelessness when I was younger too, so it is no fun. Like, I do not envy you. I do not, Anyway, let's move on to a new map. So you have a TV screen, but it's a mobile device. So you absorb digital content. I think that I still think of this as a TV, to be honest with you. In its purest sense, it really is. If you're watching a YouTube video on there, that's no different than a TV show, or if you're watching sports or Twitch, or you know what I mean? Just my 2 cents. It may not be regular program scheduled TV, but I mean, for instance, YouTube did shows for a minute. They did, like, wasn't that where Cobra Kai got its start? You just have a much more mobile and fluid version of television. You partake in, let's call it modern media. And if I'm not being honest, traditional media is dying big time because it costs too much. It's too heavy. production costs, everything from top to bottom is too expensive, but it's because it's overpriced. And like people are trying to make money where they can because there is no money in it unless you're at the top. So I just like I don't want to get into it, but yeah, like all the whole thing of like planned and media and like modern like old school media like scheduled TV and stuff, it's dying. They're losing subscribers like crazy to services that stream, and then even then stream services are dying. I kind of feel like the big conglomerates started making their own stream services so they could choke it and make the whole entire market worse in general. Oh yeah. I would much rather watch a documentary or than a game show or reality TV. I'd much rather watch like a very cool like you know like a docu-pic or an epic film or something. Anyway, this looks cool. Let's check this one out. Oh my gosh, this is huge. 101 tiles long. Oh my gosh, yeah. If I could tell young me that the games I enjoyed when I was a kid could be played on my smartphone in my pocket everywhere I went, like I would be like, what are you talking about? You know, like the concept of an MP3 player would even be kind of extreme to explain in the 90s or late 80s. Like, because yeah, you had like a Discman or a Walkman and stuff, but even then, you sang hundreds of songs on something this big. Oh yeah, I honestly I do not do drip feed content unless it's a show I absolutely love. So like for instance, Futurama's back now on Hulu, and Hulu in their infinite wisdom decided to drip feed one episode a week instead of all 10 of them at once and allowing you to binge. And the reason that this trend started with Disney Plus and HBO Max during the pandemic, and Netflix and Hulu followed suit because they both used to just drop the whole season and you could watch it all in a single binge in a day, be good on with your life, you know, but it's a whole day you'd be binging it. But then now they drip feed it once every week. They're doing that with Stranger Things and its next release. It's Futurama's back after 10 years, my friend. There are new episodes, brand new season on Hulu. There's 2 episodes already, new episode every Monday. Oh yeah, I remember my neighbor's computer when he got a 5 gig hard drive. We thought that was so crazy, but nowadays I have like a terabyte SSD and a half a terabyte SSD, a 7 terabyte HDD, and then another couple like multi terabyte HDD backups that are just full of like family photos, documents, media, my whole media library, video games, old backups of computers, just tons and tons of content. This is insane. I love this map. I'm like, the scope of this is brilliant. It's huge. I like how they use these like chain pillars as like actual huge pillars. Oh, right, the pagoda with the freaking lanterns, right? I really love these big structures too. They just look like huge, huge, beautiful buildings. I think it's a combo factor. It's summer, and it is the biggest lull between updates. So we have now passed. It's been the longest cycle between updates now at this point. So like we usually it's between 3 and 5 months typically is the whatever, and we're right around there. And so it's basically, I think people are kind of like that calm before the storm sitch. Not even a week and a half ago, we had streams with we had 60 people in the stream. So I think it's just, I'll be honest with you, people the last 2 years were stuck in their house, and it's like a first real summer people can travel and do things, without as much worry or restrictions, and so they're doing it. Holy cow, that's insane, Atraxian. Was it made in Dungeon Alchemist, or is it just like a huge map he made? Go ahead, Dino Thunderlung, let's hear it. And by the way, that name is like probably the coolest name I have ever read as a username. Level O Faker, welcome, welcome. How are you doing, my friend? Hello from Las Vegas, United States. My name is Mac. I'm the community manager for Dungeon Alchemist. Pleasure to meet you. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. These streams are here for you. We are here to answer questions. Think of them as AMA format, and it's a great way to learn what you can and can't do with Dungeon Alchemist. Is it on the workshop? I'd love to check it out. Ataraxian. And Dino, please go ahead with your question. I would love to answer. Yeah, Lucian did post a prison map, I'm pretty sure. Or is there another Lucian? I'm pretty sure we only have one Lucian in our community, but I could be wrong. Yeah, hello, salute. Okay. Have you thought about making some compatibility for something like Near Infinity, where we can export in-game maps from Baldur's Gate or Icewind Dale on the Infinity engine as a PNG, load it into Dungeon Alchemist, and have it oriented and recreated there? So I will say right now, our next update is including a tracing feature, which is almost exactly what I think you're asking for, if I'm not mistaken. So essentially, you would be able to import a JPEG or a PNG of an existing map, blueprint, whatever, and use it as an overlay to trace out the village or tunnels or whatever it is you're trying to do. Is that what you were trying to do? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, Lucian makes some amazing maps. So in our next update, we have 2 quality of life features that were never even promised in our Kickstarter or our development cycle. 3D asset import, so we'll have a huge, cool asset importer where you can import an asset, tag it, describe it, give it all sorts of relative information to Dungeon Alchemist's environment, and then also set up the collision boxes for it and whatnot. And then you can keep that asset private for your own builds, or share them on the Steam Workshop. That's a huge quality of life feature that'll be absolutely free in our next updates, and we're hoping that with that feature, people will be adding tons of assets and asset packs to the workshop that will increase the amount of versatility in your builds with Dungeon Alchemist exponentially. In addition to that, the tracing feature, how I imagine that working, and I haven't seen it firsthand, so this is just kind of how I think it will work based on what I've heard and seen, is you will be in a top-down mode. You'll have an option to insert an image that will float above the map in a fixed position at a certain height, where you can see below and use it as a tracing layer. Okay, awesome. I just saw in your Discord that you will add a function to add custom 3D models. I bet this was there before, but do you have any clue when this update will come up? I wish I could use Dungeon Alchemist as a supportive tool for my D&D sessions, like moving little figurines around the screen, because unfortunately, I mean, people do that already, Levelo. Like, I'm in 2 games that the DM does that. I'm in one where we actually just use Dungeon Alchemist 100% as our VTT, and the DM moves our tokens around for us. And I'm in another one where we use, Foundry as the VTT, but in Discord, they follow along in first person with a token, so it's much easier. So there's several ways to kind of do this. You can, use it as an immersion side tool where you have a camera and you follow around the players where they go. And you're like, okay, you're at this door. This is what you see. This is what your character would see in first person now. How would you like to proceed? And they could be like, okay, I would like to look over the door for a mechanism or a latch, maybe symbols that might indicate how to open it or what its purpose is. It allows them to immerse themselves much more in the environment when they can see it in first person, because guess what? That's exactly what their player character would see. Hate to admit it, they have eyes and they would see in first person. So it is really nice to give them this eye view. You could do it with that cinematic camera, or my favorite is I like to just pop a token in the environment. And then, yeah, you can hobble along with them, and a lot of the environment you can interact with. Things like, if that was an actual door, we could open it, but it looks like they just put a freestanding wall and made a custom door, like for this temple, which is very beautiful, by the way. This was all made by hand. This wasn't an AI build. But these are all, like, custom doors that they put on, but you can see behind it a little bit. In fact, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to move this door, and then we can go inside, probably, and take a look. Probably not much in here, but it's very neat to walk around in first person and immerse yourselves. And I mean, granted, in some maps like this one here, they never intended for someone to go in there in first person. All they wanted was a top-down, beautiful view where they could interact. They probably even have associated maps for the insides of each of these buildings as new scenes. So you can use it as a supportive utility in a lot of different ways. So for instance, you can record handouts, long rest scenes, walkthroughs of maps, chase scenes, cut scenes. All of these things you can do screenshots or pictures in like a drone camera or in first person mode or top down. And then you can give them as associative material with your campaign. Or, yeah, you could just straight up stream Dungeon Alchemist. So go into top down like this. Turn on the grid under settings, because guess what? This is designed to help you play on a TV tabletop or print a map and be ready to play with a grid. So now you've got the grid present. Why don't we go up here and turn off the user interface? Guess what? Now Dungeon Alchemist is free and clear of any UI. It has a grid all the way across the map and is ready to go for gameplay. This is perfect if you want to just hook a computer up to a TV tabletop and move the map as your players go. That way you kind of reveal what's next as a natural fog of war. I mean, here's the thing. We're playing a game where we use our imagination to beat the crap out of monsters. So I think your players can suspend their disbelief a little bit if you drop a token and just say, hey, this is you. So you have all these tokens that are just kind of generic ones. They're great. In addition to that, you have statues. Tons of statues. So these can be great as enemy or player markers. So you can just put one of these down and be like, here's an enemy. Here's a huge enemy. In addition to that, right within Dungeon Alchemist, you have the abstract template. So you notice this circle one. I don't know if you see where I'm going with this. You can load an image in there, custom, and boom, there's a token. So you could just put circle flat tokens down if you wanted to. There's a lot of ways to actually insert tokens into Dungeon Alchemist without even trying to. But it's something we're not even trying to do, which is funny. Oh my gosh, we're getting raided! Nikki! My friend, how are you? The NNO crew, how's it going? Can you color the customs? Yes, you can. They have a color slider on them. You can do black, white, and a whole bunch of in between. So you can actually set these as like condition markers too. So the problem is they have a fixed size. They kind of get to a certain size and then they won't expand past. So just kind of keep that in mind. You might have to use tricks to make them bigger if you wanted them to be like a condition marker, for instance. So like one thing I like, this trick is pretty popular. You put an object on top of another object. Make sure the top object is at its max size. And then you increase the size of the lower object. And now you've got an even bigger circle, template, whatever. Nikki, how are you? I've missed you. What you been up to? Okay, you'll be right back. That's fine. We'll talk in a minute. Hope you're well. Yes, thank you so much. Iconoplast, how are you doing? Nikki Nerds Out crew. That's the point of these streams, Thunderlung, is to really just kind of take your ability with Dungeon Alchemist and crank it up a little bit at a time until you are like all the way up to 11. And you know its ins and outs, its tricks, its secrets. So on these, you can insert images, and these use light mapping. So to a degree, you can make custom 3D models, like with these customizable walls, for instance. And people do that with great success. Our next update will allow you to import custom 3D models, though. So, I mean, pretty much, like here is a door someone made by doing texture wrapping. And essentially, we have a whole bunch of templates. Each one of these abstract objects, when you place them, you can click them. It opens up our website. Here, let me show y'all. You should be able to see this browser window now. And it goes to our browser window, our website, and each of these are a template for a different one of those objects. So there's the cube, that wall. This is the wall we just wrapped with a door skin. As you can see here, if you look at it carefully in this green space, that safe space, that is like an unfolded cereal box, basically. You know, it's like if you carefully cut the sides of a cereal box and unfolded it and made it like all unwrapped. Yep, and then, well, we don't have a UV dictionary for people to use yet, like a template library people can use, but we allow you to insert custom templates of your own through the app. So as you can see, people will use their skills, make custom assets, and share them on our Discord. We have a Discord server where there is a channel dedicated to community assets like that. And we hope to expand that to be supported in Steam Workshop too. So that will, the custom abstracts will be hopefully expanded to Steam Workshop, and then we'll also add 3D model asset import with Steam Workshop support in our next update for sure. Welcome, by the way. Welcome. One and all from Nikki's crew. Let's move on to a new map, actually. We've been on this one for a few minutes. And then this will be our last map, and we will wrap up for the day. So I'm going to scroll down. We're going to just browse the Steam Workshop, which is great because there's over 5,000 maps available on here, and these are all free. And you can access it directly within Dungeon Alchemist. These are all user-shared maps. But, I mean, they're all really good. So, I like to sort by recent, but you could sort by, like, most popular, most subscribed. Okay, let's check out this logger camp. Looks pretty good. Oh, and it's from Dragons of Icespire Peak. So that is an actual map from a well-known module. It's in the official Discord. I'm not aware of a Dungeon Alchemist community Discord. It's our official server. It's moderated and run. I'm in there all the time. Our staff is in there, and we have an amazing team of helper moderators that help out too. We have a support and question forum, a suggestion section. We have a place to share maps as well as share abstract templates. It's a safe server, as safe as we can keep it. Obviously, people's accounts get hacked once in a while, and there's little people trying to scam and share weird links, but we delete it. We're on top of it. Our server is a very, very low drama, very supportive, awesome place to be. I highly recommend y'all check it out. So, Nana, soon, TM. That's about the best I can give you, but I will say very shortly. If anything, I would just encourage you, if you have any sculpting or 3D modeling skills, start making some models that you are going to want to use. I can tell you right now that FBX, GLTF, and STL will be supported at launch. And I believe they're aiming for files 20 megabytes or less. So use that however you want. But sooner than later. And if you start, it sounds like you do a lot of stuff already, like modeling, or 3D modeling and stuff, so you could probably have a decent library of assets that you could import into Dungeon Alchemist. So we have a whole bunch of people who use Dungeon Alchemist for different reasons. Some people, the vast majority of our community uses it to make maps for their campaigns, their GMs, and they need it for their various projects, their maps for that. Some people make maps to put in modules or, campaign books and sell them. I've seen our maps as part of Kickstarter programs and stuff. In addition to that, there are a subset of our community who make maps for commission or subscription. So I could foresee someone who, say, has a great talent at making maps, but also making 3D assets, offering something extremely unique, because they can make custom maps that have only the exclusive custom assets of their own. And if does that make sense? Like, essentially what you're looking at is a way to offer almost a tiered system to your subscribers of a Patreon, where it's just basic maps, advanced maps with like lighting and time of day and weather, and then the most advanced one comes with a whole big asset pack that with all these cool custom assets. So when the update launches, the 3D asset models, you'll be able to import them through our object importer and then share them on the workshop if you choose. You can import them and keep them private and use them in your own builds and your own maps, or you can put them on the workshop and make them public, at which point people can use them. Now remember, STLs, they don't carry like surface or like color data with them. So it would just be like a blank gray or a blank white token if it's an STL, but an STL token still can have a lot of detail and be plenty cool and different. It just won't have as much color detail or like texturing and stuff. Does that make sense? Yep, FBX and I believe GLTF does as well. There's a member of our community who plans to upload 2,500 assets from the SRD that are SRD compliant. So the 5e SRD, meaning like, monsters, animals, beasts, all sorts of things, constructs. It won't be too hard, level low. Right now, to add a map to the Steam Workshop, for instance, only takes a couple clicks. So let's say you made this map and you wanted to upload it to the workshop, right? You just click Steam Workshop at the top and hit publish, right? And you can take a screenshot anywhere on the map using the drone camera, get a nice little setup for it. Boom. give it a title, set its visibility, give it a description, and then hit publish. And in a few seconds, it's on the workshop. That's how easy it is to share a map. I imagine it'll be about the same to share an object. Now, we have a video that demonstrates it. Does anyone want to see a little video of it, the asset importer? Okay, so this is like a little teaser demo that was released on our YouTube about a month ago, but I'm going to share it here for everyone. So as you can see, it will allow you to insert very custom, well-lit assets, very detailed assets, set up their collision boxes, give them all sorts of tagging information so they can be searched and found easier if you share them on the workshop. And blammo, you've got yourself a... What is this? Oh no, stop jumping into somebody else's page. Anyway, as you can see, yeah, type, there you go. We have a YouTube, we have a Twitter, we have a Facebook, we have a Reddit, we have an Instagram, we have a TikTok, we have a Discord, we are everywhere. And I'm not going to call it X. It's going to be Twitter forever for me. I'm sorry. But here, let me just shamelessly drop our socials. So anyone who is interested can check them out. Also, we've got a lot of new faces in here, so the last thing I'm going to do at the end of this shameless little thing is show our schedule. Yeah, you can make them unlit. So that schedule, as you see in chat, that is our stream schedule. We stream 2 days a week here on Twitch. Every Saturday like clockworks and every Monday like clockwork. Same time. So they're the same time every week. They're not the same time each day. So on Saturday, it's 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. UTC, 9 p.m. CET. Mapmaker Mondays is 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Pacific Eastern, 4 p.m. UTC, 6 p.m. CET. Same bat time, same bat channel. You get it. You get it, Adam West. So basically, we try to have consistency in the stream schedule so people can find us every week if they need to. A new thing that we're working out the details, the minutia of, is we're now opening up what's called office hours in our Discord a couple times a week, where myself or maybe one of the lead developers will be available for voice chat and video, like we can show you Dungeon Alchemist stuff hands-on, give you tips, tricks, answer questions, etc. Maybe you have feedback or you have a suggestion or you just wanted to talk to one of the team members, and get some FaceTime with us, something like that. That's what office hours are for. Oh, it's all Dungeon Alchemist related, please. But the hope is that with these office hours that we're available more to the public, instead, because we all work remote. Everything is online. We don't have a physical headquarters. So the benefit of this is anyone in our Discord can just pop in and have a video chat with us or a voice chat with us and chat, and listen and learn, and other people can sit and watch too because it's a stage. So it's like a teachable AMA environment where everyone can learn. Office hours, yep. I'm working out the particulars of those, and once I do get them all squared away, then I will be posting them regularly as like an event in our Discord. So you can just RSVP to the event, and if you know, want to show up and ask questions, show up, raise your hand, ask questions, and you'll get help. It's cool. Think of it as like a fireside or AMA type chat where, you know, it's like you're given the mic and you can ask and everyone else in the crowd can listen and learn. And that'll be facilitated in Discord on a channel we have there called Briganti HQ. Anyway, I think we are going to wrap up the stream. I had so much fun hanging out with y'all today. Really appreciate you all being here, supporting the channel, supporting Dungeon Alchemist, as we are a small indie company. You know, every bit of support, word of mouth, sharing, you know, this product with your friends. If you enjoy Dungeon Alchemist, please let your friends and family know. If you enjoyed the stream, share it with anybody on your table, share it with, you know, other DMs so they can learn from it as well. And hopefully with time, you know, we can grow this stream community to be, you know, exceptionally large, but also a place where people can come anytime and just feel like they can get the answers they need at any time. You know what I mean? Oh, thank you, Paquette. That means a lot. I don't know if we'll be rolling out to the Bay Area anytime soon. I want to hit up Utah first, if I'm being honest. I'm Utah born and raised, and I've been living in Nevada the last few years. And I want to just go trek all over Utah and visit family and friends and check out Zion and Pine Valley and a bunch of places. Bryce, exactly. Moab, Arches. Yep. I love Utah. I love it. Where I grew up in southern Utah, I was within like an hour drive of like 5 to 7 state and national parks. And I grew up hiking and on lakes and river rafting, and like I just don't get to do it as much. Yeah, you can do it in Nevada, don't get me wrong, there's plenty of it, but I just want to go back to my stomping grounds is all, you know? Anyway, thank you for the well wishes, appreciate it, the offer there, Paquette, and I hope everyone... What distances make your brain hurt? Man, in the US, traveling is like, driving is no, like, okay, I think it's funny because the culture in the US is like, driving to another state is not a problem at all. Like, most people wouldn't even blink an eye to go visit friends or family in another state with a drive. And I know people across the pond, like in Europe, and they think it's crazy to drive across town to do something. Yeah, exactly. 100 years is a long time in the US. 100 miles is a long way in the UK. Man, the state I grew up in would engulf the UK like 40 times. You could probably put the UK in it a bunch of times. So from northern Utah to southern Utah is like a 6-hour drive. And I've lived on both ends of the state. I lived in southern Utah and I lived at the peak at northern Utah. And it's just funny because it's like, it's a big distance, but it's a one state. It's not even leaving the country, or it's not even leaving a state. However, you do cross a bunch of counties and cities, so I guess there is some separation there. It's not just like, this is Utah, only I don't know how to identify it any other way. Anyway, everyone, thank you for being here. I appreciate you being a part of the Damn Fam. We'll see you Monday with Mapmaker Monday. And I hope you have an amazing weekend. Yeah, that's it. See you later, Damn Fam. Bye. Back out.